Ferenc Puskás, born on April 1st, 1927, in Budapest, Hungary, emerged as one of the most legendary footballers in the sport's history. A figure whose name still resonates with awe and reverence decades after his last match. His story is that of a gifted child from a modest background who rose to become a global icon. A man whose left foot seemed touched by divine talent and whose career bridged seismic political, cultural and sporting transformations of the 20th century. Puskas was born Ferenc Puskás Jr. in the working-class district of Kispest. His father, Ferenc Puskás Sr., was a footballer turned coach and a strict disciplinarian who would prove to be one of the most influential figures in his son's life. In the 1930s, amid rising nationalism and a general push for Hungarianization, the family changed their German-sounding surname to the more Hungarian Puskás, which would soon become synonymous with football excellence. Growing up in a football-obsessed household, Puskás had the game in his blood from the beginning. His father's position as a coach at Kispest Athletic Club provided the young Ferenc with early and consistent exposure to the sport. Please like and share the video and comment to give your valuable feedback. Subscribe to my channel to get notifications of new videos. Tell us in the comments which biography of your favorite football player you would like to see. Puskás made his debut for Kispest at the tender age of 16 in 1943. His precociousness was evident from the start. Though not particularly fast or physically imposing, Puskás possessed a low center of gravity, an impeccable sense of timing, and an extraordinary left foot that could seemingly bend the laws of physics. His eye for goal was uncanny, and his technique mesmerizing. What he lacked in physicality, he more than compensated for with his intelligence, anticipation, and razor-sharp finishing ability. By the late 1940s, Puskás had established himself as a central figure in Hungarian football. In 1949, a major transformation took place when the Hungarian Ministry of Defense took over Kispest AC, effectively converting the team into Budapest Honvéd, the army's team. This allowed the government to conscript the best players in the country into military service and assign them to Honvéd, creating a domestic powerhouse. Alongside Puskás were fellow stars like Josef Bozik, Sandor Kocsis, Zoltán Csibor, and goalkeeper Gyula Grosic. With this extraordinary ensemble, Honvéd dominated the Hungarian league and laid the groundwork for Hungary's golden era in international football. The same players formed the nucleus of the Hungarian national team during its most celebrated period. Under the direction of coach Gustav Sebes, Hungary developed an innovative style of play characterized by constant movement, fluid passing, and positional interchange, a precursor to what would later be recognized as total football. Puskás, the undisputed leader and creative linchpin of the team, played as an inside forward, often dropping deep to orchestrate attacks or surging forward to finish them off. His leadership extended beyond tactics. He inspired those around him with his vision, humility, and unshakable confidence. Between 1950 and 1954, Hungary was nearly invincible. The team went on a 31-match unbeaten streak, claiming victories against some of the world's strongest footballing nations. Among the most iconic moments in Puskás's international career came on November 25, 1953, when Hungary took on England at Wembley Stadium. England, having never been beaten at home by a team from outside the British Isles, was supremely confident. However, Hungary's 6-3 demolition of the English side, with Puskas scoring twice, is considered one of the most significant matches in football history. His first goal, in which he dragged the ball back with his studs to evade Billy Wright before rifling it past the goalkeeper, became an instant classic and a vivid demonstration of his genius. In 1954, Hungary entered the FIFA World Cup in Switzerland as the favourite. The team stormed through the early rounds, scoring 17 goals in their first 2 matches. However, in the group stage match against West Germany, Puskas sustained an ankle injury that kept him sidelined for the quarter-finals and semi-finals. Despite his injury, he returned for the final, a rematch against West Germany. Hungary took an early 2-0 lead, with Puskas scoring one of the goals. Yet, in a stunning turn of events, West Germany came back to win 3-2 in what became known as the Miracle of Bern. The defeat was a national trauma for Hungary, and the loss of the World Cup final remains one of the most painful moments in Hungarian sporting history. For Puskas, the game was personally devastating, though it did little to diminish his stature as one of the greatest footballers of all time. In 1956, Puskas's life took another dramatic turn. That year, Budapest Honvéd embarked on a European tour just as the Hungarian Revolution broke out against Soviet rule. The uprising was brutally suppressed by Soviet tanks, and Hungary was thrown into chaos. Many of the Honvéd players, including Puskas, decided not to return to Hungary. The defection had major consequences. FIFA imposed a 2-year ban on him for refusing to return to his club. During this difficult period, Puskas struggled to find a club willing to sign him. Concerns about his age, his physical condition after Sergutend, nearly 2 years of inactivity, and the political sensitivities surrounding his defection led many European clubs to pass on him. But in 1958, Real Madrid took a chance on the 31-year-old Hungarian. The Spanish club, already a European powerhouse with stars like Alfredo Di Stefano and Paco Gento, saw in Puskas not a liability but an asset. His signing proved to be one of the most astute decisions in football history. In Spain, Puskas reinvented himself, adjusting his game to accommodate the changes in his physical condition. Though no longer the dynamic dribbler of his youth, he became an even more cerebral player, relying on positioning, movement, and that ever-deadly left foot. In his 8 seasons with Real Madrid, Puskas scored 242 goals in 262 competitive matches. He won 5 La Liga titles, 3 European Cups, and a host of other domestic honours. One of his most unforgettable performances came in the 1960 European Cup final, when Madrid defeated Eintracht Frankfurt 7-3. Puskas scored 4 goals in that match, and Di Stefano added 3. A performance widely regarded as the greatest European final in history. In another European Cup final in 1962, Puskas scored a hat-trick against Benfica, although Real Madrid lost 5-3. His impact on Spanish football was profound. He acquired Spanish citizenship and played 4 times for the Spanish national team, including appearances at the 1962 World Cup. However, he never achieved the same heights with Spain as he had with Hungary. Despite this, he remained immensely popular in his adopted country. Revered for his sportsmanship, affability, and extraordinary skill, Puskás retired from professional football in 1966 at the age of 39. His transition into coaching took him to far-flung destinations. He managed teams in Spain, Greece, Chile, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Australia, and Paraguay, among others. His most notable coaching achievement came with Greek club Panathinaikos, whom he led to the 1971 European Cup final. Although they were beaten by the formidable Ajax side of Johan Cruyff, the achievement remains unmatched in Greek club history. Though he enjoyed considerable success abroad, Puskás's heart remained in Hungary. Following the fall of the Iron Curtain and the collapse of the communist regime, he returned to Hungary and was embraced as a national hero. The decades he had spent in exile were forgotten, and he was celebrated once more as Hungary's greatest sporting icon. In 1993, he was appointed head coach of the Hungarian national team for a brief period, a symbolic gesture of reconciliation and respect. The later years of Puskás's life were marred by illness. He suffered from Alzheimer's disease and spent his final years in a care facility in Budapest. Despite his illness, he remained a cherished public figure. His death on November 17, 2006, at the age of 79, was met with national mourning. A state funeral was held, and he was laid to rest with full honours in the crypt of St. Stephen's Basilica, a rare tribute accorded to only the most revered Hungarian figures. Ferenc Puskás's legacy is monumental. In 2009, FIFA introduced the Puskas Award to honour the most beautiful goal of the year, a fitting tribute to a man whose goals were not only numerous, but also often breathtaking in their execution. His influence is felt not only in the numbers, his 84 goals in 85 matches for Hungary, or his 514 goals in 529 club appearances, but in the style and spirit with which he played the game. To call Puskás simply a prolific striker is to underestimate his genius. He was a footballing poet, a maestro of movement and space, and a visionary who elevated those around him. He exemplified sportsmanship and humility even at the peak of his powers. His ability to transcend politics, admired both in the Eastern Bloc and the capitalist West, made him a rare figure of unity in a divided world. Ferenc Puskás remains an enduring symbol of the beauty and universality of football. His journey from the dusty streets of Kispest to the summit of global football stardom is a testament to talent, perseverance, and the timeless magic of the beautiful game. Though generations have passed since he last graced a pitch, his legend lives on, in goals, stories, statues, and the hearts of millions who still marvel at the brilliance of the Galloping Major.